Welcome. So yesterday, if you were following any of my tweets, I've been doing my hair a little bit differently. And it's actually making me really happy. Here, I'll turn around and I'll be really silly. It makes me really happy because I love having my hair up and back. And typically I would just pin it in a little bun or maybe just twist it back in the same way every day. So I've been doing it a little bit differently, and it feels a little different. It's switching up the routine, and it feels different on my head, and it looks different, and it just switches things up. So with the theme of habits going on this month, I thought that was a nice little example of the little things, the small things that we could do to maybe shift our perspective of what we're capable of doing, or how we're going to feel that day. So again, small thing, and you might giggle to yourself, but I think life is made of those small little moments, and those shifts in consciousness happen with those baby steps. So other than that, a small little nougat of insight that I would like to share with you this morning, and I'll make it brief. So I got on the phone with my mother this morning, as I often do, and I was sensitive to the fact that she started going into these scripts. And if you have ever had this experience where you're speaking to somebody and they start going into a story about the past, or even about something that happened relatively soon, or even about what they want to do in the future, and it sounds almost as if they're reading a book, right? They're going into the script of what they believe or how they believed a situation has happened. And hopefully you recognize this in yourself at times. It's rolling off your tongue. There's no thought to it, right? So the reason why I think it's very important to be sensitive to this, to be aware of it, and it's easier for us to see outside of ourselves, and to take that realization in others, maybe not stop them and say, you're going into that script. But if we could recognize it outside ourselves and use people as a mirror, our relationships as a mirror, allow them to reflect back to us what we need to work on, that we could start to realize those scripts and start to be able to stop ourselves, to think about them, and to allow them to change. Or just allow yourself to imbue them with a little bit more feeling. Because once we're able to feel something, then that's moving more closely towards it. It's not just words, it's actually being embodied within us. So, with that being said, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself in hearing those scripts. And this is one more thing of, while I'll say that's important, we read, we study things, we fill our minds and our bodies with generally, right, with things that we want, knowledge that we want to have in our minds, inspirational reading that we want to direct the course of our lives or to impact us on some level. And the stories that we have in our mind serve that same purpose. And can you imagine the effect that they have if we actually don't need to read them, right? If we know them so well, they've been memorized so well, that they could just play out without us actually having to read them on a daily basis. And a lot of times, or I'll encourage you to think about it, what is really being cemented in your mind? Is it that new knowledge? Is it that new inspiration? Or is it that already memorized book that's going? Because if you're going throughout your day, and if you're not reading something else, and if you're not being distracted by something else, or you're not trying to imprint something new on your mind or on your heart, then often our brain will revert back to our subconscious, because it's easier. It's easier for our minds to use less energy, and they're a computer. So what's going to direct your life, right? And it's focusing on not necessarily changing it right away. It's focusing on being aware of it and maybe just being able to sense it and to change it in that moment and reprogram our brains and the books that we want them to serve us with, the words that we want within us to direct our lives. But be careful and be cognizant, because we will keep writing books and we will keep writing scripts in our minds even as we evolve, and we want to continue evolving. So just be sensitive to scripts, habits, patterns, and see how they also play out in those little things in life. How you do your hair. Okay, so leave me comments. Let me know what you think about this. If you really think it's funny, a little nutty, or if you want to know more about it. Okay?